So, Allie, we should probably be talking about Survivor, right? You know, it's like there's all these episodes left. Oh shit, there's only
like two. No, there's only like one more left after this.
Oh shit. I guess we're gonna bring like 6 people on. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of A Conversation with Kely. This is episode 63 at this point. Look, I'll be straight up with you guys. Survivor has just not been a priority of ours recently. We have just been focused on a lot of other things, and that are, you know, like this, for example, and other stuff like that. We have just not really been focusing on Survivor at all. Nothing against the season or anything, but that's because that's why we are behind. We're only behind by like 2 episodes, but here's the thing. Because it's not been a priority, we also have not been keeping track of our guests that wanted to join. And so I went to Allie and we're like, oh my God, we have like 12 people left that we haven't let on. So like we have a pretty big panel this time around. So I think we'll just go ahead, introduce everyone one by one. We'll do the ones you know first and then some of the ones you don't know as well. We have a first timer on here, so that's very exciting. Now we'll get to the first one. You know him, you love him. He's usually here with some sort of podcast that we're doing. We got the Christmas Fox himself, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, I saw it close up. That's why I was laughing.
We love Christmas.
It's iconic. I love it. No, not the kazoo. Not the kazoo. Anyway, we're gonna mute because of that kazoo, and we're gonna turn to our next person here. You've seen her before. We were trying to get her for Big Brother, but she wasn't really watching the season. But she is watching Survivor, and she's here to talk about her insight. We have Jazzie. Hi. It's great to have you. I feel like we haven't passed in a minute.
I know.
Yes. Great to have you on. And now, of course, we have someone else that we always love having on here. We've had her on for Big Brother, and we've been trying to get her for the past 2 weeks. But we finally got her on. Here's Kaci.
Woo! I made it.
Yes, finally.
Yes.
And this last one, someone we're very excited to have on. We both play BB Blockbuster with him. Fantastic ally, great guy all around. Here is the one, the only Devin.
Woo!
It's Devin!
Yes.
This is a first timer, so
Yeah,
we're very
it is.
excited.
I thought I was the first timer.
Oh yeah, Mike's never been on here before. We don't know him. We don't know who he is. He just randomly showed up.
Yeah.
We sent the link, and then just some random guy showed up, and we're like,
I'm definitely not prod.
No, actually, some random fox showed up.
Yeah, just some random fox, not even a person. It just a fox. And we're like, what the fuck? But no, in all seriousness, we are here to discuss the latest 2 episodes of Survivor 41. But before we do, I do want to get everyone's takes. What are you guys thinking of this season? You liking it? You disliking it? I feel like it's been kind of a very sort of mixed season overall. But what are you guys thinking? Who would like to start?
The fox died.
Oh,
Damn,
Fox died.
Damn.
It's very. Oh, Fox is back.
Okay, I'll start with a hot take on the season, maybe, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, for me, as someone who's, like, watched Survivor since I was a kid, like, growing up with my family, like, this season just does not feel like Survivor. I don't really feel like the gameplay matches what I'm used to. I don't feel like it's that competitive. I feel like people are just letting things happen, and I don't know. I don't really like any of their games, to be honest, besides Erika. Because people have actually said Erika's name, and somehow she's still staying. She doesn't have an idol. She hasn't had any really huge advantages recently. You know, she had one, but I don't know. This season just doesn't feel what I need it to feel like for Survivor. After waiting for so long, like, this is what I get? Not happy.
I feel that. Even though I haven't watched a lot of Survivor, I mean, I can definitely attest to the fact that it's like...
I don't know if anybody feels the same, so I thought I'd start it off on that tone.
Yeah, the pre-merge is definitely more exciting than the merge, but Jazzie, you should go next. How do you feel about this season?
I like this season. I've been very mixed about it. I was kind of got a slow start. I kind of think after the merge, I've been enjoying it more because there's been more like blindsides and different things come up. So I think it's been getting more interesting as the season's gone on.
All right, Mr. Fox himself, go ahead.
What?
Fox. Mr. Fox.
how we feel about the
How do you feel
season.
about the season? Yeah.
Survivor season.
I started off feeling like not so good about it. Like I kind of didn't like the gimmicks. I didn't like the twists. Didn't like the advantages. All that fun stuff. I think Probst is trying too hard to make it seem like an org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
And however,
Jeff Probst for Spotlight, maybe.
Spotlight Survivor.
Yeah.
Just gotta say the full name.
Spotlight Survivor.
Spotlight
yes.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you done? I can't tell.
No.
Oh.
But as the game picked up more, I started to get more invested in it. I do want to acknowledge the POC representation in the finale.
Yes.
I don't mean to compare it to the cookout necessarily, but I think like the majority alliance has honestly been just as good to watch so far.
Yeah.
And in terms of Survivor winners, I'm personally pulling for Erika, but I wouldn't be mad at a Ricard win.
Oh yeah.
And
that's kind of it.
I would like to see a female winner. We haven't had one since Sarah Lucina, I don't think.
It's true.
What a fucking.
We need a better person than Sarah Lucina.
Oh, really?
Agreed.
You mean by Lucina? Remember, she asked Jeff.
I liked her in the game. I guess I don't pay attention to her like personally. Is that why we don't like her? Why don't
Christmas Fox says A cap.
Yeah.
What?
No, I think Sarah's been very performative as a person outside of Survivor.
She's did a lot of stuff on Twitter.
She has.
From what I understand.
Oh, okay. I don't pay attention to that. But in the game, like
She was as a game player, she's okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's not that bad.
Yeah.
I
all
said,
right.
In the game.
Yeah, back to the season.
Yeah, I can't comment much. Devin, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, it's about the cast. I think this was a strong cast.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
there are people that there's the majority of them I would want to see potentially play again, which is good. I do agree that the twists are literally choices. Like, especially the one we're gonna have to talk about in the podcast.
Oh my god.
Like, we can't. If we could just like strip it back down, you know, a couple idols, maybe like one still a vote, you know, call it a day. Like I'm more of a into the social part of the game, and I do miss getting to see the like genuine moments. Like instead of like some flashback sequence to them being like walking down a path at their house being like, I wanted to play Survivor because I'm super into it, or like whatever the hell they're saying. Like, I don't care. I don't care that you were a last minute addition to the cast.
I'll just tell you after, honey. Let's see how you fucking play this game. Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
is it a blue post for an org? Like, you were an alternate this season?
Good for you.
Shout out to Claire.
Queen.
Wait, and that's another thing. Like the two people that we've learned, like, because on Big Brother we learned that Claire was an alternate, and then on Survivor we learned that Tiffany is. And I'm sitting here, Tiffany in particular, she was like the most interesting person on the cast. Like, who was doing the casting? Why was she an alternate?
There goes Tiffany.
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same thing with Claire. Why didn't they choose like Christy? Like they wanted to pick Christy over Claire.
exactly. No. Like, what?
I don't know.
Maybe they just wanted like a hot mess in the mix, but you know, whatever. We're here for it.
I don't know anything about Christy other than that she was flung. Other than that, she was flung for having a false positive COVID test.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Anyway, let's get into what we're actually here to talk about, the last 2 episodes. Now, I'll be honest, we do not have a lot to say about the first one
we
for 2 reasons. One, because it was mostly tribal. The second one is because I'm a lazy fuck and I did not have time to, nor did I try to find time to write notes for the first episode. So we're not going to be saying a lot about episode 11. Very focused on things like this, not really focused on that. But we do have a lot to say about the next one. So we'll get into episode 11 right now. We start off and we talk about how we get this moment from Xander, and he talks about how he believes that he's the one in charge. He's got this group of people that trust him and that he can work with. How are we feeling about Xander's game right now? Because it's been very interesting, to say the least.
It's been a roller coaster. Like, he's gone from like down to bottom, but he definitely is not as in control as he thinks he is.
No, he gets terrible reads.
He has terrible reads. So, like, I don't know. Like, I think he hasn't done enough to stay in the game because the people had to win the game. I think other people really have like worked for him to kind of get him to where he's at.
Yeah, it's very much one of those things where if he does end up winning this season, I feel like it's like he didn't really do much to get himself there. It's like people were kind of like stumping for him, or there were times where they could have got him out. And they also, for some reason, have completely just like negated the fact that he has this big glowing thing called an idol that everyone knows about and nobody wants to do anything about it. And I just don't understand what's going on here.
Tell us you've never found an idol without telling us you've never found an idol. They don't glow.
Well, so what's interesting about that is, like, he's had this idol. Like, now we're at a Final 5, and I think he can still play it at a Final 5.
He can.
Why? Like thinking about it previously, like, you know, I don't understand why people haven't done anything about it. It seems to be there were 2 different alliances going on, and they were kind of found out about each other. So we have like Deshawn, Liana, Liana. We have Deshawn, Liana, Chen, and then we have Danny. Kind of on one side, which, you know, here for it, love it. And then we have Ricard, Xander, Heather, Erika. Am I missing anybody?
No, that's it.
Yeah. So we literally have like 4 against 4. And like, who flipped Deshawn? Can we talk about that? Like, who flipped Deshawn to vote out Shan? I really don't think anybody did. I mean, that was kind of Ricardo's move. But Deshawn was ready to do that anyways. That's something that Ricardo could see because he was aligned with both of them. So I don't understand, or Ricard, not Ricardo. What am I saying? Sorry, guys.
Ricardo.
I got a little zooted before this game. See, that's
go see being the Ricardos in theaters now.
I'm paying attention, but I'm not at the same time to this.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Who the fuck voted for me?
Ricardo. But Ricard, so yeah, like, I don't know. I don't really think that anybody has played that well this season.
No.
And I think that Erika's main, like, reason she hasn't played as well was because of the fucking twist. Definitely. I think she would have been fine without it too. And that's the really, like, disappointing thing is, like, I think that there are way too many twists. Yeah. For some reason, we gave 3 people idols and 2 of them went home with idols still in their pocket. Like, what? Yeah. That's crazy to me.
They were completely ineffective. They really were.
And, like, now we're having one maybe being played at a Final 5. Watch it not be. He doesn't have a reason to play
that's the thing. I generally don't know if he's going to play it because there has never been a point this season where anyone's like, hey, Xander is an idol. We need to get him out. And no one is like,
people have told him to play it. He still did not. Like, Ricard
I don't understand
told him to play
why he didn't just discard it. You know, like, you don't have that target over you anymore when you have something that everyone else doesn't, but like, whatever. Anyway, let's move on. So the big thing in this episode that I'm sure we all want to talk about, this stupid fucking do or die twist. Let's discuss it.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Nixon, 86,
so I'll be honest.
out.
Yeah, I'll be honest. There's some twists this season where I'm like, this isn't a bad idea in concept. I just don't really like the way it was executed. I hate everything about it. There's nothing here that's good about it. The idea that essentially you are randomly chosen, basically if you're last in the challenge, you then basically it's up to fate whether or not there's even a vote, and basically you have to then randomly choose like 3 boxes, and if you choose the wrong one, well, you shit out of luck. Bye-bye, I guess. Like, it's like, I'm just not really,
Right?
I'm just not really here for that. It's like, it stifles gameplay. And what also pisses me off is like, we have some interesting game conversations going on in this episode. And if the do or die thing happens and like Deshawn dies, as Jeff kept saying it, which out of context is really funny to hear. It's like, what?
Like,
What?
Wait. Can I say something? Did anyone notice, like, the entire time that they would say, like, oh, I hope you don't die tonight, or, well, if Deshawn dies, then I guess we're okay. Like, I'm just...
This is the Hunger Games, I guess. I didn't know we were playing Survivor Hunger Games, but
apparently we are.
No, in all seriousness, like, it stifles.
Actually, we're not. I don't see any of you on my television every Wednesday, so we're not playing it.
True. But imagine playing it and your winning move being that you won fucking.
I picked the right box. I should win.
That's what's shitty about these twists. Is like they're not good twists. Like it's just shitty luck is what it is.
And we go
as a player, it just hurts your game even more. In my opinion.
The thing is I feel like
you survive that tribal, not 1 and 3 that shit. The fuck is this?
Yeah.
Survivor now? We play Wheel of Fortune. The fuck's happening?
Like, it boils down to drama. They're wanting drama, but like it's like this manufactured drama that's like I want to see somebody get blindsided because they socially did not do something correct, not because they failed to pick the right box.
This is the type of shit that gets you canceled at Orgo drama.
Let's make a deal.
No,
man.
literally.
What's happening? What's behind door number 1? Door number 2? We got Wayne Brady. Like, why isn't Wayne Brady?
You want a new car, or do you want to like get?
Yeah.
I would gladly watch Wayne Brady play Survivor.
Let's get a new car.
Celebrity Survivor when?
Is there a soul or a fire emblem? Like, what the fuck's happening?
Like, to be fair, if they're gonna do this do or die twist, like, I think they should just go all out. It's like, no,
actually,
if you lose the challenge, not only are you out of the game, but you're not even on the. Like, you.
I'd rather us just go to rocks for that round. Let's just fucking go to rocks instead. Everybody, pick a fucking rock. No immunity.
Production takes you off, like, backstage or whatever. Go pow.
Yeah, you like explode instantly. Sorry, Deshawn will no longer be on the jury for reasons beyond our control.
He died, dude. He died.
Yeah. You're dead. No vote for you.
For the rest of your... Oh, wait, no.
Oh, my God.
I almost said for the rest of your life, but I guess it'd kind of be over right then and there, wouldn't it? Now, wouldn't it?
Pretty much. But no, like, in general, I really did not like this twist at all. I really disliked pretty much everything going on here, especially because aside from that, we do have some interesting game conversations going on. Hi, Seb.
Hi, Seb.
The one thing I will... The one thing I will definitely say that I liked about this episode, and I've been saying this pretty much from like the merge phase and on, is that, I really like Danny as a person. I felt like he had a good chance to potentially win the game, but we didn't see any like strategy. We didn't really see what his game was about and things like that.
His was like very under the radar. It was like, it was a lot of just behind the scenes stuff that they just never showed, kind of like with Heather, but like at least he's got more of an
what I liked here is that we actually did get something that could potentially be something he can use at the end, where, he talks about his father's death and how that's something that it's something. yeah, it's something that, really motivated him to play Survivor and things like that. And I thought it was a really good moment for him because finally we have something where it's like, okay, this is what he's all about. Like, this is what his story is in the game. I feel like we haven't really seen that from Danny, and I feel like we finally did get that here. And so it was a really satisfying moment where he finally wins immunity, which was amazing to see. Yeah. That was the best part of the episode for me, besides obviously the conversations that go on during Tribal. Oh, yeah. I thought that was a really strong moment. How do we feel about Danny overall?
I love Danny.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what the echo is, but there's an echo.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
It might be on our end. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Is it me?
Hello?
Is it me?
Hello?
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 No, I don't hear it.
Hello.
Okay.
But I'll let you know if I hear it. But yeah, I really like Danny. I really like Danny up until this point. I thought that he was pretty well insulated, being, with Liana on one side, Deshawn on the other. I thought maybe he potentially could win. I thought maybe he could potentially work with Erika out of all of kind of like their side of things.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing to watch like this emotional episode where you got to know way more about Deshawn and watch him do this thing for his dad, who he made him proud after so long of like hating the reason of what happened with his passing. Like you just watched him emotionally get through that, and that was amazing. I thought that as a player, I was already enjoying him, but now I get to know him personally. And then it was just really shocking, but I'm so excited that he won that immunity on that day. Yeah. Good on him.
Yeah, that was definitely a really strong moment for me. What's not as strong is when we get to what the actual vote is all about, because it's very predictable, I think, what happens here. It comes down to basically it's between Liana and Ricard. And at this point, it's like, if Ricard is someone that is going to be targeted and he's not won immunity, he's the only person that's won a bunch of immunities. Why wouldn't you just target him here? I did not understand the logic, especially from Xander in this moment, where he's like, oh, I'm going to be the next one out. Who's told you that? Who's told you that, your name is out there? Your name has not been out there, Xander. Just fucking take the shot. I feel like he was playing so scared in this moment, and I was just really annoyed that, they didn't just take the shot and take out Ricard, especially because he is such a huge threat at this point. He's won so many immunities. He has really been one of the only people to make a big move in the game.
Exactly.
Very annoying.
No, very true.
I don't enjoy his moves sometimes, but they are good for him.
I was kind of 50-50 with Xander because Liana had been gunning for him hard, and I can see why he made the move that he did rather than Ricard, who wasn't going for him. I can see it from
that's kind of what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Was the fact that for Xander, you have a woman who's literally been on a witch hunt since day 3, who's I want Xander out. She's probably in her confessionals, screaming it. And he's and then you have
he also has a crush on, apparently.
Apparently.
But
I feel like they. Oh my god! Because of that secret scene, I feel like they mostly deep down have feelings for each other.
Yeah. It's the end of the season. They reveal they're they've been together this whole time. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be hey, we're dating.
Yeah.
The finale episode, and we get a fucking ring popped out. I will.
I mean, they are literally the same age.
They are very close in age. So it is.
They're only 20.
Certainly possible. But go ahead, Devin.
They're babies.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, what are we asking right now? About the move? I get the move from everyone's perspective. I mean, except for, because I feel for Erika, it's the same thing. She has somebody who wants to work with her and a group of people who are ready to vote her out first chance they got. So, what is she going to do?
Yeah.
I think the curious one is other than just being aligned with Erika, that was actually which is probably why we're getting a purple from edit from her. But that should have been Heather's moment to be no, I'm going to cut Ricard off at the knees and send him to jury.
Exactly. We're missing that person that is on the other side of the tribe, but is down to make the move. You know what I mean?
No
we
one wants
need you to
do
make
that.
the move. I don't know why at that point Heather or Erika or they don't take control of their game to really position themselves in the best spot with what would be the majority at that point. And even the people that don't really like them, like whatever.
But aren't they in the best spot? Like, I mean, I just want to say, like, out of this final five,
is Heather in the best spot? No,
not to win.
No, Erika. I feel like Erika definitely is, but Heather, no.
Oh yeah.
But Heather making that move probably would have made sense.
Yeah,
if you're
both taking control of the game
they're
at that
both
point.
the two most likely to get there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, wait. Who's Heather?
Exactly.
Purple Heather.
The girl that doesn't know how to make a move to win $1 million.
No, she tried. Do you all not remember that episode where she tried to make a move and she told Tiffany, "Trust me," and then like went up there 30 seconds later and was like, "Tiffany."
Didn't do it.
Like it's about timing, but how do you not see timing when it's gonna be,
Well, it's literally final 7. Like, what are you doing?
Why are we keeping Ricard? Because I get that there are still 2 more opportunities, or what would have been 3 more opportunities in Xander's eyes to take him out, but now he's won an immunity on within the next one. So it's getting real. Like, that's what the fuck up on Xander's game is like you're bringing your shield to the point where like they're gonna win. Yeah, like, you're about to lose to him, kind of thing.
I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I just feel like
people.
What?
Like after we talk about both episodes, are we talking about all the players in the final 5 going into finale?
We can do that. We've done that.
Because I have something to say about Xander, but I don't want to say it now because we haven't talked about the second episode. So
we can definitely do that. But make a long story short, we do get to this tribal here. Very memorable tribal, I feel like. We knew something big was probably going to happen at this tribal because 20 minutes in, we're already heading to tribal. It's like, what the hell? So we get to this tribal. We get a lot of great moments here, I think, where obviously we have the do or die. But before that, we get this really great impassioned speech from Liana about what it means to have a diverse cast, but also, representing the, Black community and things like that, and how hard of a year it's been for them and how they really want to uplift. And I thought this was a really strong moment for her, for sure. I think Liana as a player has just been really great to watch. I don't think she's had the greatest reads at points. I don't think she's made the best moves, but I think she's overall been a player that I've enjoyed watching. And I really like seeing just the passion and the heart that she gave from the speech. It was very genuine, and you could see how much this mattered to her. And I just thought this was a really, really strong moment for sure.
I agree. I thought it was a really good moment.
We
got to see a lot of socially and culturally how those things are brought into the game, because we've been seeing a lot of twists and all this fluff.
Okay, I'm just gonna say something. Okay. Yeah. The moment and everything was great, right? Like everything that was being said, there was a lot of the whole thing was really, really fun to watch from a social standpoint of but for me, the one thing I took from it was Xander's not winning this season.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot have a speech like this and then have a 20-minute monologue the next episode about how a woman needs to win, and then have a white man win.
Don't even
that's
consider
what I took
Xander's chances. It's gone. It's gone.
Right. From an editing standpoint, it makes no sense. You don't put that in there and then have the one white guy left in the game win. So
I definitely agree with you on that. But I think this was a really great moment, though. I did love how they basically even before it was a thing, predicted the fact that Facebook is gonna hate them for this. I thought that was a really good moment. But overall, really great speech, really genuine stuff from Liana, important conversation, and made sense why it was such a long tribal, because we knew we were getting to something like that. And I really did love that moment. Let's talk about the do or die here and how bullshit it was, because Jeff kept saying that it's a 50-50 shot. No, it is not. It's more like a 65 out of like 50 shot or something like that.
It's
because
like 33% or something.
Yeah, like
33.33.
Yeah, because this is what he does. He has Deshawn pick one box that he wants to eliminate. So he picks that box, and then he got to choose between two other boxes. Turns out only one of them had safety. If he had chosen any of the other boxes, he would be gone, and the whole thing would be pointless, and there'd be no reason to move forward with Tribal Council. So yeah, this twist sucks. I don't want to see it again. I really did not like the way this played out at all. I feel like if the only way to make this work is to have 4 boxes, have 2 of them be the do, have 2 of them be the die, and then it can be, it's a little bit more equal that way. I just wasn't a fan, but I feel like, Devin, you're disagreeing with me. What were you going to say?
No, I have to say something.
If you put the dudes together, does that make it a do-do?
Shot, because you got to realize he picked one, right? Like he said, this is my box. And then Jeff was immediately like, yeah, but this box was not the right one. So, like, do you want that box or do you want this box? Like, why did you even have 3 boxes if you were going to eliminate one?
Right.
And then give him the chance
because
to
this is let's make a deal now, all right? That's what's happening.
Like, pointless.
All right.
Like,
I know you have door number 2, but do you want door number 1? Ooh. Like, the fuck is happening? What's strategic about this? Like, it's
was very much like
down line.
It was very much like, you know what? Let's see hypothetically what would have happened, audience. It's like, it was
Imagine
very much
you're the one getting voted out that round because somebody picked a box.
I know.
And now you're voted out.
It's yeah, it sucks. I really hated everything.
Because that's how you got outplayed and outlasted.
Yeah. And I felt like it also became apparent that, like...
I said it would have been the box has spoken.
Exactly.
Yeah, the box is spoken. Then closes the box, and that's it.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Really bad twist. I don't want to see it again. They say it's the first ever do or die. I hope it's also the last ever do or die.
I mean, we're going to get it next season. Like, they filmed it back to back, so it's going to be back.
Maybe earlier on, I wouldn't really care. Like, do it early on. Do it with a player who's, like, shitty, like a Heather.
Yeah, pre-merge is fine. Yeah.
Like, when she struggled that one challenge, bring it way back to that point, okay? Not a final 7. Or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, not a final 7. If they are, I will say that if they are planning to do this again, which I know, Devin, you said you have suspicion that they might, do this in the pre-merge. Like, do it in the pre-merge. Don't do it in the merge. It stifles all the interesting gameplay. This is the point where we should be seeing, like, the most interesting stuff going on. There's a lot of interesting game conversations going on. It's like, and you bring this twist in, it just is not the time to make it happen. Like, do it way earlier. Maybe I'll warm up to it, but right now, no. I don't want to see this again. But let's talk about the actual vote, what happens here. It does come down, of course, to Liana and Ricard. Only Liana, Danny, and Deshawn end up voting that way for Ricard. Liana does end up going here. So yeah, Shannon and Liana did go back to back, which in itself is disgusting. I don't know why this keeps happening. It's like, it's like, again, not to compare, but Tiffany and Hannah on Big Brother 23, very similar to Shannon and Liana here. Just very unfortunate that this happened. How do we feel about Liana going here?
It's very gross.
After the speech she made, and then them still fucking voting her ass out.
That's what I
can
said.
see why Heather is a nasty little rat.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Can I
take out Ricard? That's why Shan doesn't like Heather. That's
probably why.
Oh yeah.
I clocked it.
Yeah, makes sense. Because we didn't. I don't think we brought that up. The jury fucking hates Heather. Like, they do not want anything to do with her. And it's moves like this that kind of show why.
Take out Ricard. That's literally it.
Yeah, literally, she could have done it, and then Ricard would have gone, and then the whole week is different. But
I think for me, losing Shan and Liana back to back is the fact that we got, like, they both had like 15-20 minutes of every episode dedicated to them.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're getting like these really huge edits, and I'm glad they did, because they were probably the most interesting players.
Oh, 100%.
They finished in 7th and 8th, and now we're here with a final 5. of people who like have gotten very weird edits or no edit at all in the case of Purple Heather.
Like, looks at Heather, yeah.
Like, and I'm sitting here like, I mean, I want to know, like, I love a finale where I don't know who's going to win, but I want to not know who's going to win because they all played such good games, not because I'm like confused of who they are as players. Like I don't want to be baffled. I want to be like intrigued.
Oh, I got some shit to talk about Heather on this next episode we talk about, so.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up episode 11. Not much to discuss there. As I said, it was mostly a tribal council and a really nice, impassioned speech from Liana. Very unfortunate to lose both her and Shan, as you said, especially because they got the most screen time out of everyone. So now it's like, who the fuck do we show? Let's talk about episode 12, which I'm not going to lie was a pretty boring episode. There's not a lot that I enjoyed about this one. I think there was some interesting stuff, kind of, but not really. So we see Deshawn, and he talks about how he wanted him, Liana, and Danny at the end, but she was voted out, and he didn't expect to get so emotional. And everyone's now commending Deshawn for what he said at the tribal, and he talks about how this was the moment that they needed, and it was very depressing with the do or die option, but he believes in faith and is glad that he is in the final 6. And I will say this. I have been shitting on Deshawn a lot in this merge phase and saying that he's not very good at the game, saying that he's made a lot of moves that just don't really make sense to me. I do think he puts in some good work here, but I also wonder, is it a little too late that he's putting in that work? I'm not entirely sure. I'm just
putting in good work because we've seen where it led to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. Like where it led to. It's just like he kind of like was doing great, and then
he pooped all over himself. He literally did. Tribal council and was like, by the way, I want to be the next target. What?
We'll talk about what happens, but basically Danny talks about how he knew that they didn't have Erika and Heather, but he did think that Xander would vote for them, which he of course didn't, and he's unsure why he really did make this move. Xander talks about how Ricard needed to stick around for one more vote because he is the person everyone wants out. Xander feels this is best for him because he would have been the one to go, and he hopes that they can work together this vote and he will go home. Again, my issue with this, and I understand why everyone is saying that, like, I understand why everyone's saying that, like, Xander had to make this move for specific reasons. I get that. But my thing is, like, you are being this is like wishful thinking here at this point. It's like you are hoping that Ricard does not win immunity. You are hoping that Ricard is an option to go. But what if he's not? Like, nobody's considered that. And I feel like that's kind of been a lot of this merge phase. And it's very frustrating to watch, you know?
Right. Like, Ricard is kind of like a Devin's, but, like, there's not going to be, like, a fire making challenge at the end of this, I don't think. Like, if Ricard makes it to the final 3, that's scary. But, like, also in this episode, we see Heather and Deshawn talking, and, you know, Heather is, like, acknowledging Deshawn's feelings, but what I feel like I don't see is Heather, like, acknowledging the other side of his feelings, which is, like, she didn't even know that, like, this was impacting him. Like, that's white privilege. Like, that's what that is. Like, I don't know. I just felt like maybe she could have expressed that more, like, as far as not really knowing that these feelings were happening and why. Like, I feel like we missed that part from her. But she's like, I want to make change in this season. Like, I want this season to change. Yet she's not really doing what she's saying. So it's just weird with Heather.
Also, not Mike sending this horrific looking spider to Allie. That was very rotted. That
was very scary.
We're not here for that. Anyway, we do see Heather talks to Deshawn about what he shared, and I don't know why they put so much emphasis on this. Like, Heather's like, oh, I didn't know that this is something that you're struggling with. It's like, it's 2021. Like, what's wrong with you? But basically, he brings up that race isn't something you always think of when playing the game. He tells her he didn't expect her to know that he was going through it because he didn't try to make it a huge deal. And this was the first time he had to vote someone who looked like him and that would Shan. Things were never all that good. And basically, she talks about how many layers there are to people she's playing with and that she needs to take this back with her. And he thanks her for what she said at Tribal and thanks her for listening. And she's very happy this is revealed and is happy that she's part of the season. Again, like, why is this the thing we're focusing on with Heather? Like, literally give me anything else. Like, I don't want to see a whole thing about race discussed by some, like, middle-aged white lady. Like, I just don't want that to be the focus of this.
Wait, can I say something?
And then not her acknowledging, like that being white. Like, that's not a thought that, like she had, you know, like, I don't know. I didn't really like it. I thought that she could have definitely, like, spoken up for the culture and really made her implant there on, like, this should not be a thing. Like, I want to make sure Survivor, like, this is not a thing moving forward. Like, and it still is. Like, I mean, regardless of what it is. I mean, maybe they know they're an alliance, but I don't get why they're getting voted out.
Yeah. It was very much like, I don't understand it, but I understand it now, and I've been impacted by it. It's like, okay, cool. Show me literally anything else.
See, I think for me, maybe the reason we've seen that is because, I guess, like, how do I put this, like, kosher? We got, like, a Karen vibe, right? Like,
yeah.
But, like, Heather's not a Karen because Heather's...
Are we sure?
Like, purple. So, like, the closest thing they have to a Karen is Heather, and therefore they're like, oh, people are changing.
Look at this old white lady talking to Deshawn.
Or whenever the person who's doing it is doe-eyed and just like, I'm so happy to be here. It doesn't come across as
woke or something.
Impactful.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, she's not woke. Like, she's faking it. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think that's why we've seen it. I think that was like what the show was going for.
But Shan's probably but that's probably why Shan doesn't like her, is because, like, that's at that point is when you don't talk about yourself, dumb bitch. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, no, it was, I did not like really anything about that at all.
Neither.
But basically, Erika admires Deshawn's vulnerability. Now, this was a really good moment. This is followed up by a moment I actually did really like, where basically she talks about Deshawn's vulnerability as well, and she says that though a diverse cast should make for a more fair and equitable game, everyone is carrying different expectations, and they didn't really have a chance to talk about them. And she does feel guilt for voting out Liana, but she isn't doing what everyone wants. And so she feels that she let a lot of people down by voting her out last night. And he talks about how it isn't about color or gender. It goes a lot deeper than that. And he sees a lot of meaning in everything that's happened so far and is very thankful. And again, I really like what Erika's been doing recently. I think that she has very much been playing for herself, but also has had a really consistent social game, especially in these last few weeks. And I've been saying it. I very much do see Erika as potentially winning this game, especially after this episode. I very much see that for her. And I think that she has played a really strong game all around. Probably one of the only people playing a legitimately good game overall.
I agree. And she's the only one who's, like, social game we can see. Like, really not a huge edit on Heather. We don't really like Heather. No. Ricard, obviously, is people coming after him. Deshawn is a hot mess.
Very game body.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we all like Danny, but, you know.
Sure.
And then Xander, like, you know, he's had people coming after him. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Erika, at one point, Danny and Deshawn in the earlier of the season, like, they were wanting to go after Erika because they could see that she was wanting to make, like, a big move. And like, she really
regret not doing so.
She really did flip the game on them. Like, and you know.
Yeah. And for her, it made sense to do that because she was very much at the bottom at that point, and now she's very much not. Why wouldn't you
save yourself?
Yeah, like, her game for, like, the winner, like, her game makes the most sense based off of probably the edit and just everything that I've seen overall with her.
Yeah, and she's really been the only one that's been able to, like, fully adapt. Like, I feel like other people have tried to, and it hasn't really worked for them, but Erika has, and that's another reason as to why I think she's the winner, but we'll see.
What did you all think of the hourglass twist, real quick?
I thought that it was a shitty, stupid twist.
I mean, like, the thought was this. Like, you're going to put someone on an island by themselves, isolated from an entire group of people, and be like, oh, if you smash this hourglass, you're safe, and so are, like, all the other people who, like, sucked at the challenge. And the people who won the challenge are now going to have to vote out somebody who's good at challenges. So, like, who doesn't do that? Like, who's like, oh, yeah. I'm at the bottom. But
I thought in theory it was a good idea, but it's a bit of a no-brainer in terms of like what you're gonna do. It's like there need to be a little bit more consequence to it. I said it in the when we talked about it, and I'm gonna say it again. I think there's consequence there that wasn't there, and I think it would have made for a better twist. So that's one of the things where it's like I think it's a good idea in concept, but it needs to be reworked a bit and to fully work.
And like low key, I've missed like seeing funnier clips. Like I want to see people get like upset. Like if you're not pissing in the rice, like where you fucking at? Like why are we not seeing like crazy shit? Like we've seen people.
Yeah, it's not really been fun. Yeah,
exactly. Like it's not the goofy like Survivor where people are just being sneaky. Like these people are being bold, which I love it. I'm here for it, but I want to see bury some fucking peanut butter or something. Like, let's do something crazy. Come on.
But do you think we're not seeing it because literally everything on the show is like super special twist this week? Like, on Survivor.
Yes.
And then we spend 30 minutes on a twist that, like...
And Jeff Probst said that this episode where Liana got voted out, Jeff Probst said that this best episode was like the best one out of every single Survivor season. I'm like, culturally, yes. The speech is amazing. Like emotional, yes. But this entire season has been trash at Jeff Probst.
Yeah, no. Overall, it has not been the strongest. But
no, not at all.
Allie, go ahead and talk about the next thing that happens.
All right. It's then time for a bit of a roar challenge. Each of them will have to dive down and find balls in the water, which they will then attempt to dunk into the basket. They will either have a choice of chicken and veggies or cookies and candy, which the castaways are not that happy about, as they were under the assumption they would be getting a letter from their loved ones this week.
So even the castaways are like, this is bullshit. Why are you doing this to us?
I know. I was so sad. Like, this episode's usually the loved ones challenge, so like obviously because of COVID they could have at least gotten like a letter.
Yeah, maybe next season they'll do it,
maybe
because they have a little bit less. Well, I'm not sure what the restrictions are where they're filming, but maybe they'll be able to do it next season, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And then Deshawn, Erika, and Xander win and choose chicken and veggies. Deshawn feels this is the moment he can prove to see a different side of him.
Oh, now you want to do that, Deshawn. Okay. Now you want to. At Final 6.
Right? Ugh.
It's time.
This game.
Yeah, let's make a move.
Like, okay, if you're voting out Shan, why not make a deal with them to vote out Shan? Like, why not ensure your safety?
That was my thing. It's like, I didn't really understand this move because it's like, that's a number for you. Like, sure, you might not trust her, but like, that is someone that trusts you. She is going to vote with you. It's like, why are you picking off someone that you're supposed to vote against with? Yeah. And stick with people that you're unsure about.
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Yep.
The three of them then indulge in some meat and veggies. Xander is especially excited.
Yes.
Xander candy. That's what he referred it to.
Yeah, he did say that.
Like broccoli is Xander candy.
Especially about this.
Yes, that was great.
I hate broccoli even more now.
The chicken looked dope though, but I don't even think the broccoli was cooked.
Broccoli looks like tiny trees, guys.
It does.
Broccoli are just small trees.
They are.
Yeah. Ooh. Did you win the idols, Devin?
Listen, I have all the idols. There's all 27.
That's why they haven't been played.
13
Devin
episodes
snatched
I got
them.
Devin's got them.
Yeah.
No idol has been played this season.
Like,
and
honestly,
may not be. Like, what is that's not Survivor.
Yeah.
Maybe next season they'll bring in Oprah, and Oprah will be like, "You get an advantage, and you get
an advantage."
Is that not what happened this season?
It's the Oprah takeover.
Get ready for a takeover.
Idol
Master King.
Yeah, we just need to reiterate that, you know.
Some reiteration.
Period. All right.
Period.
Right there.
All right. Deshawn goes ahead and tells them he is down to work with the two of them moving forward. And they bring up how if all this goes to plan, they need to vote out Ricard this round. And if this works out, it could be the three of them at the end. And Deshawn seems to not trust any of them until they actually stick to the plan.
Which, again, to Deshawn's credit, makes sense why he does not trust them here, because they have not voted with him for the rest of the game. But like you said, Kaci, like he definitely should have like tried to make some kind of deal with them like way earlier, because then he would be a little bit more, I think, willing to vote with them here no matter what. And that's been another thing this season. It's like everyone's like, oh, well, I'll vote with you if this happens.
Yep.
But if that doesn't happen, then fuck you. It's like it's been happening like that all season, and this is yet another example of that. And that's what really pissed me off about this. Hello, Fox. Yeah, what really has been like frustrating me is that they again are under the assumption that it's like Ricard will not win immunity. If Ricard does not win immunity, then we will go for him. Well, he could win. That's the thing. And
and people are like, okay, I'm gonna go along with that. Well, Xander has the idol and he's safe at 5. And
exactly.
Like, what happens when Xander and Ricard are safe? Heather, Erika, like,
so
I
dumb.
don't know.
Exactly.
I guess they were banking on Deshawn just like ruining his game. Oh wait, he did.
Which he did.
Meanwhile, back at camp, Danny decides to look for the idol, assuming it's back in play as Shen's idol is gone, and he feels this could help him change the game. Heather and Ricard then work on the fire and notice Danny's absence. Ricard is very suspicious once he returns and is very much under the assumption he has an idol and that he did successfully find it.
Which, I mean, Danny definitely did what he needed to do here at this point. It's like, if there's some kind of advantage out there, you need to do what you can to look for it. And so I don't really, like, he definitely came across like he had the idol, but I think that almost worked in his favor, but not quite in the way that he, I think, wanted it to. But I was happy that Danny at least, tried to save himself.
Yeah. It would have been good. He could have used it.
I know. It would have been so good.
He looked pretty close to it.
It did seem like he got pretty close to finding it, but,
Everyone returns back and watches the sunset. Heather talks to Deshawn about how she really hopes she is not the next one to go.
Well, we don't care, Heather. Like, we literally don't care.
Right?
I don't know why.
Devin doesn't care about women.
No, I don't care about women that have no edits.
Well, he said it. I don't care about women. Hashtag Kevin Falk 2021.
Not that.
Kevin,
but no,
Kevin
like everything I see of Heather, I said it before I got on here. The more we see of Heather, to be honest with you, the more I just do not like her. And I kind of
Kevin would rather see a man win.
No, I want to see Erika win, who's a woman.
Yes. Yes. As you should.
Yes. Exactly.
Kevin likes men more. On Survivor.
Thank
Deshawn
you.
talks to Erika and says he is down to go to the end with her, especially since if she brings Heather to the end, they have a very similar story, which she also believes is a valid concern. She feels this could help get them back on the track and actually make a big move together.
Which, I mean, yeah, this was good what he did, I think. Talking to Erika, it's true that, like, her and Heather do have similar stories in that way, but obviously Erika's done way more than Heather. Like, obviously she's done a lot more than Heather, as we've seen.
Yeah.
I think this was good for Deshawn to at least talk to her and be like, hey, let's try to make this work. So I think he did a good move here, but again, he kind of ruined it a little later on. But this was overall not a bad move.
Not at all. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's time for the next community challenge, and they all have to run through an obstacle course of sorts. And once again, Ricard wins immunity, here clenching his third win and securing his spot in the final 5.
And you can just see Xander and Erika and all of them being like, well, we're dumb as fuck. Why did we do this?
They're like, why?
Like, again, I understand to a certain extent, like, Xander's logic, but, like, I didn't understand the fact that he was so sure that Ricard wasn't going to win immunity here when he's done it before. It's, like, obvious he was... I felt like it was kind of like a foregone conclusion at that point it was going to happen because they kept saying it wouldn't happen. So... yeah, I mean, this was very predictable that he ended up winning the immunity, and it also makes for, I think, a very boring, like, last, like, 15 minutes or so But Deshawn then feels dumbfounded that nobody really saw this coming. Danny feels for sure that he or Deshawn are going now. And Dane then talks about how he didn't find the idol, but he does feel his search paid off as people assume that he did find something and he could potentially weaponize that against them and get someone else out. And I was all here for that. I was like, yes, let's convince them that you have an idol and then they have to target like someone else. But fortunately, these players don't want to play like that. But
Kevin, just say you want Xander to win.
I don't. Xander feels that keeping Danny could be their best chance from Ricard winning immunity in the challenge. He feels that they made a real mistake keeping Ricard last week, and Heather seems to want Danny out, seeing that Deshawn won the reward challenge. And now this was very stupid logic, I thought. Like this is probably like Heather said a lot of stupid shit in this episode. But this is one of the dumbest things.
He can't
like,
beat Ricard. Like you don't know what challenges are coming up.
Yeah, it's like, well, you know, he won this last challenge, so therefore he's definitely gonna beat Ricard. It's like, I mean, Danny literally won immunity, so like,
right, exactly. Like you never know what the challenge is going to be. Like,
yeah.
So what are we gonna think whenever like Final 5 happens and Deshawn beats Ricard?
Yeah,
it flashes back to Heather being like.
We'll be like, I will get on Twitter and I'll be like, you know what? Heather was right. Heather was right. I thought I'd say those words, but Heather was in fact right. So we'll see if that happens. I don't feel like it's going to.
If it happens, I mean, if it does, great. But if not, it was a risk, and I don't know.
If not, it'll be the dumbest thing Heather said all season, which is saying a lot. But
well, I mean, she hasn't had much airtime, so like.
Yeah. So Erika wants to keep Deshawn because of the deal that they made, but feels that Deshawn is a much bigger threat since he is so likable and has overcome a lot, while no one really knows Danny's game that well. And this was a good point on Erika's end, is like Deshawn has played very like front and center. He really hasn't hid anything about his game. He's made it very clear who he's with and who he's not, whereas Danny's played the exact opposite, very subdued, very quiet, to the point where even we as an audience don't really know his game, don't really know what he's been doing. And I thought that was a really interesting point from Erika. This is another reason why Erika definitely deserves that win, because I think, you know, her logic makes the most sense out of everyone, I think. But Ricard also wants Deshawn to go, thinking that he could be the one to potentially beat him at the end. Which I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but I also feel like Deshawn doesn't have much of a chance, especially after what he does in a little bit. But Danny then talks to Deshawn about his sports experience, and for me, this was pretty clear that Danny was going to be the one to go, just from this scene when he's talking about, you know, sports and things like that. And Deshawn hates that one of them is going with how close they have become, but he knows that his social game is important, and he feels that his tight bonds with Heather and Erika in the early days on Luvu will also help him out. And my problem with that is that we didn't fucking see that. So, like, how do I know he had tight bonds with those two? Like,
yeah, I was like, when did we see this exactly? I am very confused.
Yeah, that's just not relevant at all. So, yeah, that was very interesting. It's you now.
All right. The next tribal of the season takes place, and Jeff talks about Deshawn and is surprised why he is so happy to be here. And Deshawn talks about how he knows him and Danny will be going and he's ready for it. And the meeting will vote together.
Which right off the bat, why would you say that? Why would you say it's for sure one of us? It's like you're trying to protect yourself. Why would you do that? I feel like there was literally other names that he could have thrown out, and he did not do that here. But yeah, it's still you.
Sorry, someone was just messaging me about this.
Yeah.
And then, there we go. Ricard talks about how he had a great day with Deshawn, but could very well write his name down tonight. Especially since he did it to him beforehand.
That was a great moment where he's like, well, they did it to me 2 weeks ago, so it's like they can do it again. That was great.
And Deshawn felt it wasn't
asinine.
Oh, and Deshawn felt it was asinine to keep him around. Danny also reiterates how dumb it was to keep Ricard around. And Erika feels being a threat is subjective to everyone.
Which I would agree with that. I think
It
that
was.
there's different degrees of threat levels for sure.
Danny feels he compared for the hardest that he could and is proud of what he did if it is his final day.
So that's a good way to, sum up how you feel if you're going to leave. But Deshawn does something a little different here that you probably shouldn't do when you think you're going to leave. You should probably do it when you leave. But what does he do?
Well, Deshawn says if he leaves, he's going to throw out some more information to spice things up.
Good. Cut it there. You don't need to say anything more. Literally.
He brings up to Heather how Erika will not be taking him to the end, and that she would steal some votes, and that she has played a very smart game, and there's no reason to keep her around.
At this point, I was like, Deshawn's probably going. Like, I literally thought he fucked himself there.
I thought he fucked himself over. I really did.
Yeah, I thought they were going to switch their vote to Deshawn at that point.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because I was like, okay, I think the plan was Danny going into it. And then, like, when Deshawn did that, I was like, I don't know if they both flipped.
Erika's like, I thought he had my back, and now he threw me under the bus.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the worst thing he could have done, I think.
I agree.
Especially before a tribal. It's like, that's something you do when you get voted out. Like, you're like, yeah, this person's not taking you at the end. You don't do that when you're still in the game. Like, I did not understand this move at all. And I know that we've kind of been talking about a lot, but Kaci, I know you have things to say about Deshawn. So
yes.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, this episode, he's talking about planting the seed for $1 million by telling Erika, like, or planting the seed that, like, her and Erika have played a similar game, like Heather and Erika have. And Erika's like, yeah, I know this, but... And then, like, I was like, okay, that could potentially work out for you. Like, Erika does want to take the, what did she call it? Like, the chicken... whatever, the chicken 3 or something like that. She does want to take them to, like, potentially a final 3, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, but she maybe could beat Xander, or she could beat Deshawn in a final 3. So
she absolutely can.
I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think she'll have to fight against Xander in that. But that scene was good until we got the tribal, and Deshawn just exposed her for saying that, and I'm like, you could have said that to Heather, and Heather would have believed you. Like, clearly there is some sort of a connection there. We didn't get to see it, but I think he said that he had one with her. So it sounds like, because he said that he had one with Erika and Heather, right? A good bond with them.
Yeah, he did.
So
he bonded with them on Lugu, which we never saw.
Yeah,
he's the one that could really drive the stake in between them, and that could be $1 million. But
he should.
Why did he do it at tribal? He shouldn't have said anything at tribal. But otherwise,
don't do it publicly. It's like
at the wrong time.
Yes. Yeah. And also, like, Deshawn kind of gets this because he voted out an ally early without ensuring that he had the numbers. He voted out Chen, and now we see Liana going, and then we have this episode. So it's like, why'd you do it? It's gonna be hard to come back from in any sort of a final tribal.
Yeah, no, and I've been saying for a long time, it's like, I don't think Deshawn wins this game, and now I'm not even sure if he's gonna make it there. Like, that's the thing. After this, I feel like he should be, especially Erika's, like, #1 target because of what he just did. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that was definitely the exact wrong way to go about that.
Ugh, that was.
He was golden before tribal, but at tribal, he unraveled, and maybe it was like a last ditch, attempt to save between him and Danny. So maybe he thought that he was going, and that's why he did it. But they still voted out fucking Danny here.
It was not the move.
Yeah,
not the move.
No, not at all.
Robbed
let's talk about that.
Danny.
All right. So the vote goes down, and it's a tie between Danny and Deshawn.
What a surprise.
Of course. And it's then a unanimous vote for Danny to go in the tie.
very, very annoyed by this. I really thought that like Danny had like an outside shot of sorts to like potentially take it all, especially because, in a season where everyone's playing so big and bold, like he kind of like slipped through the cracks in that way. Yeah. I thought he was going to like really get to the end and like explain all this shit he did. And then people are really impressed, but didn't happen. Danny's not winning this game. And I'm a bit annoyed because like I was really starting to latch on to, especially recently, I was really starting to like what we were getting with Danny. And I thought after that moment with like his father and whatnot, like I really thought they were setting him up to like potentially get to the end of the game, but didn't happen.
Literally, Kevin, I felt the same way. I was like, I thought they were setting it up for a possible Danny win, and then
I was like, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yes!
Let me come up, and Danny, he won immunity. It was really emotional. I'm here for it. Leanna saying this huge speech. Boom, they cut her. Boom, they fucking cut Danny. Like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we take this dead air like fucking Heather? Thank you.
What's really funny, too.
Everyone who has significant screen time is worried because if you have gotten a backstory and you have gotten, your montage moment, you go. Like, you're out the door.
Yeah.
We don't want you anymore, apparently. So, like, I think out of the people left, like, is Erika the only one that's really gotten that type of edit? Because, I mean, okay, Ricard to an extent.
Yeah.
With the hearing loss.
Erika had that moment when she was in exile and talked about like being in Canada and things like that.
Right, she's like the only one to survive it.
I think Ricard had it like early on when they like when he talked about him and his husband getting their son and stuff like that.
Literally the first episode,
Literally the first episode. So I think he did get it early on. So I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you what Heather got. I don't think she got anything.
She got nothing.
Heather,
she got nothing till merge.
I don't know if Heather is married. I don't know if she has kids.
I don't know if she's married.
I know nothing about Heather. I really don't.
You know nothing about her.
Heather could be a lesbian and we don't know
the
it.
whole finale is all.
Yeah, after all this time. This was very unfortunate. What's actually really funny about this, Allie can attest to this. We were grocery shopping when this episode was going on. And from reading Twitter, I thought for sure Deshawn had gone. I'm like, okay, Deshawn's out, did it to himself. Sean's on the foot. Cool. The next day, I'm like, oh, no, Danny left. What the fuck? Like, I was so shocked when I read about that. And it's just like, I really feel like Deshawn pretty much did everything he could to like get himself out here, and yet he's still gone. I do think very much so. We talked about it before we jumped on here. I do think Deshawn leaves in a fire making challenge. I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point that like that's probably going to happen.
What if he loses to Heather?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god. Oh my god. So Jeff then announces to them that that's still you.
Yeah, it's okay. Jeff
shit.
That's okay.
Yes, we do love Devin.
We do, and we love Callum too.
Yes, we love Callum.
Jeff then announces to them that the 5 of them will be taken to a new island, and over the next 3 days they will get 2 tribals, a fire making challenge, and a winner.
So 3-hour finale, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to have, I'm assuming it's going to be a final 3, not a final 2, because they're at final 5. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be that.
Yeah.
I don't know what Survivor typically does. I think they've mostly done final 3s, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think you've always done
like
final 3.
2 hours.
No, it hasn't always been final 3. It started off final 2s, and then I went to 3, and then went back to 2, and then they're back to 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they've kind of switched it up quite a lot.
Okay, so they like alternate.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait.
So next season will be final 2.
A certain way, though. He said there's going to be 2 tribal councils, 1 fire challenge, and a winner.
Yeah.
We're hoping that it means that there's a final 3. My fear is that when he said that, I was like, what's going to happen is they're going to have immunity, and then we're going to get 2 vote outs. And then they're going to come into Final Tribal, and they're going to be like, here's the boxes. Make fire.
No.
Like,
no,
like
not you or die again.
We're
No, not
actually
that.
going to get to
Please,
top 3.
no.
And the other one is screw the pooch. You're gone. I'm hoping that's not what happens, but like I'm sitting here thinking like Twist-a-mageddon better not screw my finale.
Twist-a-mageddon. Wait, no, that's the title for this season. They don't have a title. It's Twist-a-mageddon.
Yes.
Twist-a-mageddon.
I love that.
There you go, Survivor Twist-a-mageddon. Yeah, no, I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that, but we do get a little bit from Danny here as always, which you can read.
All right. He says he's not surprised he left because Deshawn had a closer relationship with Heather and Erika,
which we didn't see.
Yeah, sadly. But he's proud of how he played and the result overall.
And that's that pretty much. Like I said, I think a pretty boring episode, especially for a penultimate episode. This was just not very exciting at all, except for the moment with Deshawn and some of the work that he did, but he literally undid it all in seconds. So it's like not very exciting. Let's talk about this final five, because I'll be honest with you guys, this is the most unexpected final five I think I could have imagined when it came to this season. Like going into especially the merge phase, I would not have considered a lot of these people to still be here, but they are. And at this point, I don't really know. I mean, Heather, I feel like we can count out at this point. I don't really feel like she has any chance whatsoever. I feel like every time she speaks, the jury just seems so annoyed by her. They're like rolling their eyes. I think the one moment especially that was really bad for her is when Jeff asked her why she didn't try harder in the immunity, and she's like, oh, well, everyone that I usually beat is out. So I'm like,
Yeah, you can see the jury just being like...
They're like, oh my God.
Yeah, so that was a really...
Because Evvie was on the jury, and Evvie's like, bitch, I fucking won some of these immunities. Like, you better put some respect on my name. Like,
Evvie was pissed.
Evvie was really mad.
Yeah, so I don't think Heather has a chance. So Xander, I know Devin, you said you had some things to say about Xander. You can go ahead and bring that up now.
Okay, so I guess like this is what I have to say about Xander. I feel like if he was our winner, right, we would have gotten we got one moment where I felt like, okay, and it was whenever he took gave his idol
but you can have this fake, yes.
So that Liana wasted her advantage. But other than that, like every time we see him on screen, he's like, broccoli is Xander candy. So he's a shtick. Like he's a shtick character who we're not getting much gameplay from. And then I'm reading into the edit here a lot, but like we get an edit of one episode where we have the importance of people of color being on the game and the importance of them being able to do represent, and then we get like in this episode we get like Erika being like, we need a woman winner, like we haven't had one in a long time. So then I'm sitting here thinking like Xander can't win. Like if Xander wins, why'd we show that? Is that just to to me, that's kind of where I'm at with Xander. I feel like he's probably a runner-up, most likely. Because I do kind of think he makes Final Tribal. I just think that he loses.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like third place, absolutely no votes, because I feel like
I think he's making it to the end. I just think he doesn't win.
I think he really can't defend his game because he really didn't have a game to defend.
I mean, you can say he is the last member of that tribe. Listen, I don't remember the names of the tribes.
I don't either.
That yellow tribe, Ua, and Yasa, I think.
Yasa, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like he's the last man standing from that, and he probably shouldn't have been.
No.
But I don't necessarily think he's the last man standing of that because he's strategic. I just kind of think that everybody else was more threatening.
And I
don't he had an idol. Like, do you know how bad that is?
I also think there are other people in the game who kind of got him to this point that
Ricard especially. Ricard was definitely like
Ricard and Erika. I think both of them kind of are the reason he's made it this far.
That one vote, Ricard was telling Xander to play your idol, play your idol, and Xander still didn't. So there are some moves that I'm like, that shouldn't have worked out. But how is he gonna sell that? How is he gonna sell the fact that
Xander candy.
It's gonna be another, yeah, exactly. It's gonna be another thing. Like whenever he does eventually, if he does get to take Ricard out, how are you going to sell that? Because it's another thing that's like shouldn't have happened, but somehow it did. So it's gonna be a lot of explaining his game, but I don't think that he's played a very strong game. I think at the beginning, he was, like at the beginning of like his edit was really bad. Like he just looked like the dumb guy, like the dumb, like blonde young kid who.
Oh, I literally said he was terrible
probably going to misplay his idol.
Yes.
And like I get the point of having a shield. I mean, he'll have a little bit to say, to that, but I don't feel like we're seeing a lot of strategy in the game, like social strategy. And that's a huge piece that I'm missing. It's a huge reason why idols are not being played. I don't know. I don't think that Xander, like, I don't want him to win. I don't want him to represent this season.
No.
I think, he's played an okay game, but nothing that's really been like, wow, like he deserves to win. He's going to win. He's been running.
We gotta give him that.
That's not true.
Yeah, when his best move I can think of was like literally the first round of merge. It's like it's really not that impressive of a game, especially because the people that helped him with that move are all gone. So like they don't even like there's really nothing that he could really do up to that point. I think his only real path is if Tiffany and Evvie stuck around. I think he could have maybe had something happen here. I think he could have set himself up better. But I mean, like you guys said, like his entire game has been relying on other people to help him out. Like he hasn't really done much for himself. Like obviously, yeah, he's voted, but like he's done the bare minimum of what he's needed to do. He hasn't really gone the extra mile. And I just feel like his chances are very slim at this point. I very much want to count him out of winning, I would say. So yeah, I don't think Xander's winning.
I don't think so either. Like his really only good move was that one.
Was the Xander candy. That was it.
Yep.
That was the move.
Yeah. That was it.
Was talking about broccoli and how much he loves it. And
the only good move was when who left? Was it Sydney?
Sydney. I mean, yeah, Sydney left. That was iconic. But
she's the only one that's like unlikable.
Yeah. Mike, I don't know if
you all hate me because I am so pretty.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know if you've been listening, but thoughts on Xander and his chances to win?
Xander has the personality of the wall behind me.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
I'm
I feel like he
Xander.
has a personality. I just feel like he just he's
you
the
don't
duck.
get to see it.
No, you're right. I'll take that back. I think my wall has more personality. He bores me.
Wait. I mean, honestly, him winning would be the equivalent of like Debbie or Philip type win. Like,
Oh no!
He's this.
I don't think he's in that category.
I don't think he's that
But
cracked.
no,
or
I'm not
that
saying he's
bad.
on their level of delusion, but he is this season's version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he gets the edit of like.
I'm agreeing, but I don't know who you're talking about. So,
Xander.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much, I think, what we have to say when it comes to Xander. Let's talk about the one that's very interesting, Deshawn. How do we feel about Deshawn's chances? Because I've been saying from the beginning, I do not think Deshawn can win this game. I think he's made a lot of moves that just have not made sense, that were seemingly good moves, but it's a move that was flashy, and the flashy move is not always the right move, and I feel like that's kind of been Deshawn's game. It's like, let's make this move, let's make it happen now, but he did it too early. If he would have taken out Shan, like, say, now, that would have been a good move. But doing it all the way, like, Final 8, I think that really fucked him over, and I think he has, and especially, her, Liana, and Danny all going, pretty much being on Deshawn that happened, because he was so adamant about getting Shan out of there. I really feel like his chances are very low at this point. I don't see it happen.
He pissed all over his chances this tribal. Like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, if you make it to the end, like, how are you going to strategize blowing up someone's game at tribal count? Like, at a tribal council, you don't go home on. Like,
wait,
Exactly.
Kaci, you wanted people to pee in the rice, right?
I want shit to happen.
Well,
like,
he
bury
pissed
the
all
food.
over $1 million. How do
He
you
did.
You want
I-
to spit in the rice?
I mean, he pissed all over $1 million.
If someone
whenever he
changed my
put it
name back, I'm
outside.
done with the Fox bit.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like,
Fox is gone.
that's what I don't get. I'm like, why are you voting out Shan? Like, that's a number for you. All of these people, like Erika, you're gonna go with? Like, no, you wanted her out in that beginning tribe. I remember that.
Yeah, no, he
I
did
remember
say that.
Sydney wanting, like, Erika had said Sydney, and then they were actually closer with Sydney, right? And then they wanted to take out Erika instead.
The
So if
edit
they
made it
had
seem that
gone-
way, yeah.
Yeah. But is that
Well-
not the case? Like,
Well, I mean, the thing, I get what you're saying, and this is what I have to say about it. We are getting told a lot of shit now from people being like, I was really close with this person, and we were never shown it. So, like, the editor needs fired, because we have
Yeah.
3 people from that blue tribe in finals, and we probably spent about 10 minutes with them between 6 episodes.
and
Yeah.
like they were targeting Erika.
Yeah, that's
Just
all we
not
know.
anywhere. Yep. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I really don't. I feel like I am missing a lot of things this season. Like, I miss the goofiness. I miss like
Mhm.
the shenanigans that these people would do. Like Rick Devin's going in there bodying idol after idol after idol, just pumping that shit out. Like, that is a survivor like mentality, and like he unlocked it. I don't feel like people have unlocked like going until they can't. Like Heather gave up when she couldn't do the challenge. Like, we've seen Sari completely take that position and continue to go until she does it, until she figures it out, until she does it even after the challenge is done. That's the survivor mentality that we are missing this season, in my opinion. Like, I don't see anybody with that that's like surviving. The one person was Shan, and now we don't have that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think Ricard does. Like, Ricard, to me,
Yes,
is the
yes,
one
he has
that
had to fight.
playing.
Yeah, and which let's
Very
segue
true.
into how do we feel about Ricard?
Well, I
I
didn't
forget
get to
about him.
answer. I didn't get to answer the whole Deshawn question either. You guys
Yeah.
kind of skipped me, but I do want to take that and take the whole flashy comment and go piggyback off of that and raise you a question of my own.
All right.
How many times has Allie gotten flashy with you, Kevin?
What about that?
Anyway, so
I'm
moving
kidding.
on.
I'm
so-
kidding.
Appropriate.
Deshawn,
That's not
I do want to agree. I think Deshawn had a really solid chance of winning, and the more his allies left, I do honestly think he diminished his path by getting rid of getting rid of Danny, getting rid of Liana, blindsiding Shan.
Yep.
Which production is kind of rotted for Shan. I don't know if you guys heard about any of that.
She was sick that round.
She was sick.
He was.
Why did Shan leave with an idol in her pocket? She was sick. Had no idea her name was out.
Yep.
Because she was sick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did not do a good job of explaining that
They
at
did
all.
awful at that.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that. So it's kudos to you for bringing that up, because
Yes.
I completely overlooked that. But yeah, I mean, I've counted out Deshawn for a while, but especially after this, I'm like not even sure if he's even going to make it to the end. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I want to say I doubt it, but I think something.
Yeah.
I would
The
take it to
possibility
final
is
three
not
because
zero.
How shitty his game is.
No, it's not out of the
No.
realm
No way
of
he wins.
possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I
What'd you
think
say,
even if he
Casey?
does make it to the end, I don't think he has much of a chance of winning.
Yeah,
just
like I
because
would take him to the end.
his
Yeah,
game has
definitely.
been so shoddy. Like he'll like when he's in the alliances he was in, he made decent moves, but then like once he started betraying them, he started doing this roller coaster. Like it's great, and then a huge drop of how
So
bad.
wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
backlash
getting
is.
mad at Shan for like not like
Yes.
hearing him out, but I don't feel like he has the social status to say that with these other players.
Mm-mm.
These other players don't even want to hear from him, but Shan's actually like, what did I say? Like, what can we do to fix this? You know, I do want to work with you, because she does. And
Yeah.
he completely just like takes her out for an emotional move because he has disagreements with her.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
He didn't even try to work it out. That's the thing. Like he
I'm
made it more of an.
absolutely-
I feel like he made it more of an issue than it was, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because
And,
he
like, just
he has an
completely-
attitude about it. That's exactly what it is.
yeah.
Like, it was his way or the highway. That's fine, but you don't have the numbers behind you, sis. Those are your numbers as Shan. So you better tread lightly. And now that he took her out, like, this is what happens. And I've been in the same position before.
Yeah, his game just went into the
Hi.
trash for taking out his allies. That
Yeah.
was kind of guiding him to make the right choices for his
Damn,
game.
right.
Casey, whatever
Like a
do you
7
mean?
or
You've been in the
8.
same position.
Kevin, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hart or Deshawn?
Yeah.
We're talking about
Wait,
Deshawn.
You're
Sorry,
talking about
Deshawn.
Deshawn.
I was talking
Still
about
talking
I
about
thought
Deshawn.
we already discussed that he pissed all over the $1 million, but okay.
Well,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah,
was
we
just
Mike
saying
had
it
to
'cause he
say
didn't-
something about it. Yeah, he didn't get a chance.
Yeah, but yeah, Deshaun's been extremely wishy-washy, and I
He
just don't
has.
see.
And that's
and I think,
Oh.
yeah, I think especially him doing what he did really fucked him over. But yeah, let's get to Ricard now because I think
Ricardo.
we're
Ricard.
Yes.
I can't say names.
Ricardo. Yes, Ricky
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
My life. Fuck my fucking life. Sorry, I'm saying every name wrong.
Lucy.
Shut
What
up.
happened?
Lucy, where's my idol?
Honestly,
Anyway,
from the
yeah.
beginning, I
Talking
just
about
had this
Ricard.
feeling Ricard's gonna win. I don't know what it is, but I just had like this gut instinct. I think he's going to win, and I think he's played.
Ricard's
Ricard's gonna come
phenomenal.
short. Ricard's gonna be the one that falls short.
No,
Wonderful.
if he
I
makes it to the
think
end-
Ricard either wins the game or Ricard is the final 5 boot. They've been
Ooh.
setting,
I'll-
see that.
they've been setting up like we're gonna take out Ricard when he doesn't win immunity. And my fear is that he's going to lose Final 5 immunity. They're going to save Deshawn just because Deshawn's not as good at challenges. Okay, I'm basically just going to give my opinion on what I'm thinking might happen. But
Yeah,
my fear with Ricard is I feel like he could be a front runner to win. Like I feel like him and Erika.
Yes,
But
that's kind of how
the
I feel
fact
too.
that the edit has been like, Ricard's such a threat. Ricard's such a threat. Like, I'm like, these edits tend to end with that person being like cut off at the knees, either in the penultimate or the first boot of the finale.
I could see it.
Right,
I could
like,
see that too.
The only person who's won the game who's gotten that edit, to my like thinking back quickly, would be Mike from
Yes.
Worlds Apart.
Worlds Apart, yes.
Like I'm sitting here thinking, like, is Ricard going to get cut off at 5, or is he going to win the game? Because to me, it's one or the other.
Yeah,
And
I
if
could
he gets
see
cut
that.
off at 5, and Deshawn goes during the fire to making challenge, which we kind of discussed, has been kind of a potential. Then that leaves us with a final 3 of Xander, Heather, and Erika. And there's only one person who can win the game at that point.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I honestly think that
Erika
could
and
be.
Xander. Fuck Erika.
Yeah.
Fuck Heather. Like, who is she?
Yeah, not
But
happening.
yeah, with Ricard, I think he's played a very strong game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's interesting that like we did get to see something that we normally don't see in Survivor, which is 2 people fighting over an advantage that they stole from somebody else. And then and then now thinking that like they're doing it to like the one person is doing it to the other. Like they think that they're doing it to each other when they're not. Like it's just really weird because like Chen and Ricard just fighting over this vote and like holding it and like, no, I want to play it. No, I'm gonna play it. Like, but then they're still allies, and of course, like, you know, he turns on her, and I think that that's the best move in his game so far. Is
Best move of the
turning on
season.
her.
Has anyone
Yes.
stole anything from a player in an org? Like, I just want to know.
No.
I
Yeah,
tried
Kevin
to.
stole $250 from me at Final
Not
12.
that. Stop.
Because I've done that. Like, I've
Final
had
6
somebody
for me.
hand me idol
Happened 5
at a
months
tribal
ago.
and didn't. I was supposed to play it. I didn't play it, and then they're like, "Can I have my idol back?" And I'm like,
No.
"Why would I give you that back? Like, we're going into Final 5, man. Like, this is safety for Final 4."
Yeah.
I love that so much. I tried to get Lakin to give me her power too. I've
I
tried.
remember that. I remember that.
I've tried.
I remember that. But no, with Ricard, I think that he has played a really strong game for sure. I think
Yep.
that in terms of, he's absolutely made the biggest move of the season. Like, nobody has made a move on that level, I think, all season. And I think that alone, like, if he's at the end, if he explains it, like, I think he definitely gets the win. We know that Shan is like a guaranteed vote. He really said it. like as she was leaving. So like I think she definitely is gonna vote for him, and I think he does have a really strong chance if he makes it. It's just a matter of is he gonna make it? And I think like you said, Devin, I can see that scenario happening where he doesn't win immunity. They're like, all right, we wanted to take out Ricard, let's just fucking do it, and they take him out. I could very well see that happening, but I also see a scenario in which he just wins out and gets to the end and wins. Like I can see either of those scenarios happening, and I think Ricard is an excellent winner if he does. I think he'd be a really good winner for this season.
He's already won like 3 immunities, right?
Yeah, he's ran 3.
And as opposed to some of these other people, like he has had a clear edit. We've seen him enough to where like it'd be a satisfying win. So
yeah.
But it sucks because like it's not a good like way to win. Like I want to watch you bring up idols. Like I want people to be targeting you and you just bring up a random idol. Like you want to Devin's this shit, Mike this shit. Like, but he's done really well in immunities. For some reason, he's not getting targeted. Like the Leanna vote, which is Heather. I don't know. I think he's played an okay game. I don't think he's reaped so many benefits from twists. I think he's done a lot of this shit on his own. He's had to turn on allies. He's outwitted, outplayed, outlasted Chen, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He's played a good game, but I don't want him to win. I'd rather have Erika win. So and I think he goes soon because of how big of a target he is. He goes at 5 or 4.
Definitely.
My next question is are we going to talk about Heather next or Heather last? Do we?
We already talked about Heather. We just
talked
her
about
Heather.
Her talk was just as purple as her edit, right?
Literally. Like, I mean, what is there to say about Heather?
If you want to talk about Heather, you can. Yeah. I just don't know what the fuck we say. Like,
I mean,
well, here's what I think of Heather.
I agree.
Exactly.
I think she's played worse than Purple Kely, and Purple Kely quit. Like,
okay, can I ask a question? Like, this is, I guess, the thing about Heather that I would want to know your all's opinion on. Why do we think she's gotten such a purple edit?
Because she hasn't done shit.
Thing I don't
because
understand.
Survivor hates women.
I also think I don't understand. I don't know if she's super unlikable, but because based on what the jurors have said in their interviews, if that's why they haven't shown her much or what.
Because I'm just being honest, Heather kind of fulfills the same archetype that we normally see get a decent edit. Like she kind of as she should be getting a very similar like
a Jane edit kind of.
Yeah.
Jen, or Holly or Dawn or like a Laura M, like these women who were older who make it deep into the game, or Tina,
Tiffany.
But we're instead of getting that, we're getting I mean, she isn't milking her own milk like Purple Kely, but she shows up and she's I mean, everything she says is just really positive. I don't think that she could be unlikable as in that she says terrible things that they can't air. I just feel like somebody at the editing is yeah, this bitch.
If you want my honest opinion, I feel like they just can't get anything out of her. I feel like she's one of those people where they sit her down for tribal councils. They try to find some sort of content that they can put in. They just can't find it. They're like, this is boring. There's nothing to say. She's not saying anything game related. Because to me, that seems like Heather's game. It's she hasn't really talked much about the game. It's been a lot of just personal. It's been a lot of just positive stuff and her saying things in hindsight and things like that, and her talking about stuff that we haven't seen. She has a close-ish relationship with Erika, but that's mainly because of Erika and not really because of her. I just don't feel like she's done anything. I feel like, and Kaci said it, she's had multiple opportunities to done stuff and she hasn't done shit. So
what about the fact that she always looks like she's on the brink of tears?
That's true.
That's true.
You look at her face and it literally could be you just won immunity, and she's like.
Maybe her lighting just wasn't good.
It could be that too, yeah.
10 episodes?
Her game is literally just being a number.
Yeah, that's been her entire game. And there's
that's very sexist of you.
Well, actually, that can work out really well. If you flip on the right people, it can work out.
But I feel like Heather,
women are more than just numbers.
So do you think she's going to finish as runner-up, or do you think she's going to finish as third?
Third.
I think she gets third.
Third.
I think she gets
I
third.
think third.
I think if it's her,
She's
like
winning.
Xander
What are you
and
talking
Erika,
about?
I think
She's
Like, if they take
winning.
out Heather at Final 5, like, that's, like, the dumbest move in the world because she
No.
can't make fire and she's not good at immunity. So, like, why would you take her out then?
Yeah.
You don't know that. She hasn't been on camera.
I think she's going.
Yeah, it
3.
turns out she's like, yes, and she's like cracking a coconut. She's pulling the husk out. She's like spits on it. It catches on fire.
Building the entire shelter.
Stop.
She's like, everyone
She's
kept
breathing
talking to
fire
me
at this
about how
point
I
now.
couldn't make, about how they couldn't make fire, but what they didn't know is I could make fire.
We see
I
like
am
a
a
20
I
minute
can make
clip.
fire. Watch
fireman.
this.
No, that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be Heather and Deshawn in fire making, and then we're going to get a montage edit of Heather being like, I spent 10 years as a circus performer, and I can create fire by rubbing my hands
With
together.
my feet, not even hands.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest
She-
shit.
Suddenly, she's the new Debbie Weiner.
Oh, I want to see that.
I love Debbie.
How do you not like
I
Debbie?
want to see
I
that. That'd be
hated
so
Debbie.
funny.
Debbie is like Debbie and Philip are. See, like that's what we need this season. We need a Debbie and a Philip because I think they would have made it pretty far, honestly.
Oh.
With this
Yeah,
cast.
no. Yeah, no, but generally, like when it comes to when it comes to, I think Heather, unless she does something like really big at the end and like pulls out something, you know, I don't see any chance that she wins this game. I just feel like it's like out of everyone, she has the least likely chance, and she has for a while. And I thought maybe once we got to the merge and they started to show a little bit more, maybe then they would start to do more with her. But again, like I said, the more I see her, the more I just am not a fan of her. So yeah, I just don't, and I don't feel like the editors are very fond of her either, because they would have shown her more. But yeah, I'm just not fond of her, nor do I think she has a chance to win. So that's really all I have to say about Heather. Let's talk about the person that I think has the most likely chance of winning. Let's talk about Erika. So Erika is it's honestly very interesting, because if we talk pre-merge, Erika's in a very similar spot to Heather, where we don't know a lot about her. They're not showing her a lot. When they do show her, it's like we want to target her for this, this, and this, but we don't really get to see her thoughts on it. And then all of a sudden you get to the merge and we have that twist, and all of a sudden Erika is playing this like phenomenal game after that. I think that the hourglass twist especially really helped her out. I think that she has been playing a really strong game since then. She's had some really good, she had some really good allies. She's been the deciding vote a lot of times. She's had a really strong social game all over the map, has not had to rely on like immunities or advantages or anything like that. And I think overall, she definitely has played like the most well-rounded game out of everyone here. So yeah, I definitely think Erika deserves the win.
I think Erika has played such a strong game. Like, she's my favorite after like Chen and Liana.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those, if they were the final 3, I would have been super happy.
Yeah.
Like,
But you didn't draft her, I did, so.
I know. That one was, well, to be fair, we didn't also, that draft was very confusing.
That's true, yeah. That is actually something I want to bring up. When you go back to that draft, I'm pretty sure Ali said, I want to draft Xander, and then I put a picture of Brad. So.
It was,
Oh, wow.
we watched it back and it was so funny.
I know. It's so bad. But yeah, what were you going to say about Erika?
But yeah, I'm just like, I definitely think she has one of the strongest chances to win. Like, her
Yeah.
social game was good.
Oh, yeah.
She was very strategic. She's very smart. She's
Yeah.
definitely very like underestimated, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, I love Erika. I don't think that she's played the best social game throughout, but I think that she has adapted and it's gotten better. Because, whenever it came to the merge time and they split these 2 tribes up, and, someone on this tribe that, I think it was the tribe that lost, right? They had to go to exile. I don't remember how it was that she got, because it wasn't like she pulled a rock and she was that one person, right? Like, they voted her off of that tribe.
Yeah, they did. They voted her out.
Or they sent her out, like Deshawn and Danny did. I know that.
It was between Naseer and Erika, and they chose Naseer.
So, like, that's interesting to me. Like, she wasn't really at the best social part of the game. And that may have been because Naseer had an idol and she did. So, like, that was helpful for them. It'll just be interesting how she explains it in the final tribal, because I feel like having that much power in a twist and making it to the end, people will discredit you, but I don't know.
Yeah. Jazzie,
I don't know. I kind of
Devin,
want to
like,
see Erika
Erika.
win.
Oh,
Yes.
I do too. I do
Like
too.
yeah.
Erika, for me, if she wins, I feel like it could be like as of right now, like with Shan and Liana gone, with the edit that we've gotten, like she's the most pliable option to make this look like a pretty bow on top. Like try to make the season pretty. Like this is what we tried to lead up to. It might have been a little misguided at times because she was very purple, like he said, like the pre-merge.
Oh yeah,
But-
pre-merge she was like not a factor.
But like
True.
since the merge, she's stepped up and she's been kind of a key component in the entire game. So
she kind of did what Heather needed to do.
right, except like while Heather was over there, like, yeah, let's go, guys. And then like and the sad part is like in my like opinion, like it's gonna be like, hey, I made the final tribal council, and then the other guy's gonna be like, Xander candy, and then we're gonna have like one person who's like, yeah, I played the game.
Yeah.
And that might be our final 3.
Yeah,
Oh my
if we
God.
can get Ricard out of 5, if Erika can get Ricard out, and then Xander at 4, or even Deshawn at 4. Really, anyone at 4 besides Erika. Like, I think she has the best chance at winning if she does make it to a final 3.
Yeah, for
Out
sure.
of all of them.
So do you all think it's gonna come down to her versus like? I know I said Heather earlier, but like it's not gonna be Heather. It's gonna be Heather's gonna be probably
It's gonna
the
be
person.
her or
to drop
Xander.
the line.
Oh yeah.
So
Her and Xander,
like,
probably.
do you think it's gonna be an Erika versus Deshawn fire making challenge?
Oh.
I could
Like,
see
is
it.
that what they're
That
setting
would be
it
interesting.
for?
That
And
would
then
be.
Erika's gonna be like, I'm a champion fire maker, and he's like, I haven't made fire this entire time.
That would be dope for her game. I'm here
Yeah.
for
That
it.
would be.
I'm here for it too. I could see it even being Deshawn versus Ricard.
Yeah. There's a lot of options when it
There's
comes
a
to
lot of
making.
options.
Well, because that would mean that Xander would have to go at 5 then.
Mhm.
That would be
I
crazy.
just think no matter what happens, Deshawn's not winning a fire making because they've been like emphasizing that a lot. So
Oh yeah.
I can also see. Okay, tell me if you all can see this. I can also see. This is if Ricard goes out at 5. If Ricard goes out, because let's face it, Xander's in Final 4. He has an idol, unless he pulls an Eric and goes out in 5 with an by giving his idol to Erika.
To Erika, I'll die.
I will die too.
oh my
Like,
God.
I could see this scenario where we get like an edit showing us like Xander winning immunity, and then we see Erika convincing him to give it to her to face off against Deshawn because he can beat Deshawn. And then she drags Heather to the end. He beats Deshawn, and then we get this like him thinking it's his move, but she's like, I convinced him to do it. Like, I can see that happening because I feel like they're setting her up more to be a strategic player opposed to like a like fire making threat.
No, I agree. I think she's definitely been like the most strategic out of everyone, and I think that's definitely going to
because I've
at
made
the final 5.
That's why I thought of it.
Yeah, I could see that. I honestly could see her doing something like that because there's been a lot of things that like, especially if you look to like the Shan week, like she orchestrated a lot of shit. And she also, something I also pointed out is that she has gotten pretty much every single time what the exact vote count is going to be. She knows where everyone's voting. Like she is really fucking good. And that's something that I hope that she ends up taking credit for.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yes.
I think she has the most likely chance to win, but
Yes.
we
So
will
who
have
wins out of
to
her and
see.
Ricard if they're both there?
I
What?
think Ricard might win over her, depending on
I
the
think it'll
strategy.
I think it'll be very close.
It's
though,
going to be very
between-
close.
It'll be close.
Yeah, between Ricard, I can see it being very close, and I don't know who would win. It depends on the argument.
Most likely Ricard, because
Most
also you think
likely
about who does
Ricard.
I think he has
who has
more
a
votes. I
cheerleader in
do.
the
I
jury.
think so too, but I mean, I could see it going either way depending on how well Erika does at Final Tribal. 'Cause she's a very good speaker, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's very possible. that she could
Yeah, I
really
think in
vote.
that scenario, Ricard has the hand over Erika because, she can talk about how, well, I started playing at jury. He can talk about how, well, I played the entire game. And I think he might have that over her.
That's
But I
true.
do think,
With that
there
first
is
try
still-
that he had, hell yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just him and Shan. So that's
Yeah.
dangerous. But also, like, What was I gonna say? I thought I had something. Okay, I'll remember it later. Go ahead.
I think overall, I think that it's going to be one of them that wins. I don't really see anyone else winning
Yeah.
at this point.
Oh.
That's the feeling I
So
get
so
too.
what happens if we
Same.
go into the finals and then they're the last two boots of the season and we got like
Oh my
a
god.
No.
I mean,
Xander wins. It would be
Yeah,
hard for
Xander
Deshawn and
wins.
Heather to win.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is, like, in Erika's mind, kind of what we saw that last episode, this is my thought. She was thinking, like, it seemed like she didn't know between maybe Deshawn or Heather, and she thought that maybe people wouldn't be able to differentiate her and Heather's game. But my question is, why isn't she saying that about Xander? Like, has she been puppeteering him? Like, that's, an interesting thing that I noticed.
I feel like her and Xander
she might already have why she's going to beat him, and she's already knows she's going to, and when we get to a final tribal, we'll just be like, the fuck? We didn't see any of this in the edit. Like, so I don't know. She's not worried about Xander. She's worried between Deshawn and Heather. Which one should I take? That's interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, she's been one of those people that's, like, helped out Xander and, like, kept him in the game, because, like, she's seen him as someone that, like, I can use him as a number. He'll always vote with me. We've seen a lot of scenes of, like, just those two interacting. So, like, I would not be surprised if there was, like, some sort of, like, deal that they had that we just didn't see. But I guess we'll see what happens there. But we will have to see what happens in a couple days when the finale does, in fact, take place. Can't believe we're already there.
Hello.
But,
Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're here.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. All right. So we're now going to go ahead and let I don't know where Devin went. We're going to let everyone do their outros one by one, starting with, he was the Fox, but now he's back to normal. Mike, what do you want to say?
Bing bong.
Wow. Very insightful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Follow Wonderpuff16.
Yeah, follow Wonderpuff16. Also, follow Jesse's lip sync race, where Mike is currently at the end game, and we hope that he has a very solid chance of winning.
Yes.
So definitely stay up to date with that. So yeah. All right, let's go to Jazzie.
Hi. Want to keep up with me? Follow me at QuinPaslay on Twitter.
Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? Where is
okay.
it? There it is.
There you go. QuinPaslay. There it is. Right. Can't point. There.
Yeah.
I was doing it right. It's
Yes.
late. I'm tired. I have work
Corny
in the morning. So, come follow me on Twitter. I am online as much as I
Oh yeah,
can.
it's like 11:30 for you guys.
Right.
Yeah. So and I have to get up like my match just starts at 10:45. So woo!
Follow Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes.
Corny bready.
Great.
Yes.
Follow her new job. She's doing great.
She's
Thank
doing
you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes. When you're in Canada, you forget what time it is. But anyway, Kaci, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is like a link to my Twitch, actually, my Fortnite streams, non-reality related. So I thought I would just throw that in there.
I did not know you have that. I'll give you a follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of been streaming a little bit, but I just hit 50 followers, so I'm good
shit.
places.
Okay.
So that's where you can find me, or at KC232.
Yes.
I don't know how it changed to that. Yes.
Oh, because I did this. That's how.
Ooh. I was like, I don't know which one to put. I'll just put this one.
All right. And I don't know where Devin went, but you can. I don't know his Twitter, but Devin Willis on Facebook. Great guy. Loved having him on for the time being. We've been trying to get him on for a while. He's been wanting to podcast, and he's been a very loyal watcher of our podcast. So we're very happy that we were able to finally get him on. Other than that, that's really it for our review of a very long podcast, I would say, for Survivor. Much longer than we anticipated, but a good one, I think, overall. Very good discussions going on all around. Allie and I are going to go because we have to go make dinner, so we're going to go ahead and do that. But we will see you guys in our next video. Stay up to date. We have Ascendance coverage and things like that coming up, so look forward to that. And we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.